9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hey, what's up, fam? Welcome back to another episode of 49 Faithfullee. We're your hosts, Miriah and Denise. Denise, what's
Hello.
up? We just beat the Dolphins 33-17 in a great game. Obviously, we know Jimmy Garoppolo went out early with now they're saying a foot injury. I'm interested to see what Kyle says in the presser about that. Because a foot injury, the only things I can think of is a broken foot or something with the toes, like there's not too much stuff when they say a foot injury. If they would have said an ankle injury, because that's what they initially thought it was, but then it came back as a foot injury. So,
well, you know what's funny? Then he must have broke his foot, because I don't know if you were watching the playback, but the playback looked like his ankle got snapped. Like literally, that's what it looked like. It looked bad.
Yeah.
Like when they kept playing it back, I was like, ooh, I'm like, that does not look good. I'm like, that does not look good at all.
Yeah, that's scary. To see him carted off. Obviously, the rookie Purdy comes in relief. And actually, from the way it was crazy, because Tua obviously constantly under pressure. He looked like a nervous wreck. And Purdy goes in there. The only starting experience he has was mop up duty at the end of a game. And he goes in there and looks cool as a cucumber the entire game. He constantly had the Miami's defense. They were sending everything at him. He constantly had pressure in his face. Every time the ball was in Purdy's hands, as soon as he snapped the ball, guys are on him. And still, he stood there, made plays, rolled out. Like I'm very surprised. Not surprised because I didn't think Purdy could do it, but surprised that it went as well as it did. Having thrown him in there like that.
You know what? I agree with you 1,000%. That's exactly what I said, because I told you before we went on air, literally, I have to apologize to any of the fans that are listening, because I felt so guilty because I was talking shit about Jimmy Garoppolo when I was watching the Redskins game, and then he gets hurt, and I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, this is what I get. This is my payback for talking smack. I'm like, I'm sorry, Jimmy. I hope you're not hurt bad. God dang it.
Yeah, all of us that hate that Jimmy's in there, and then he gets hurt, and we're like, oh shit, what are we gonna do now?
Right. I was like, I'm over here talking smack, and now I'm like, oh, Jimmy, please come back. Damn, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it, Jimmy. I'm sorry. My bad. I was kidding. It was a joke. Yeah, I was feeling all kinds of guilty.
What are your overall thoughts on the game? Obviously, the defense, their streak was broken. They allowed points in the second half, but they still played a hell of a game. Defense, the turnovers, they played lights out too. What are your overall thoughts of the game?
I have to say that I thought we played amazing, because we didn't Ridgeway go out at the end of the game? Didn't he get walked off too? And we lost. Who was the other player we lost? We lost someone else, and I can't think of his name off the top of my head. Someone else went out hurt.
Sosa.
Yes, thank you. Ebukam. Yeah, so I mean, for the fact that we lost our starting quarterback, we lost a couple defensive players, and I thought we played phenomenal. I mean, Brock Purdy had no starting experience, and I'm like you. I thought he came in and played really well, and I am sorry. I think everybody was full of caca, because the Dolphins' defense was a lot better than people said it was. Like, people were like, oh, the Dolphins' defense sucks, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not going to lie, I haven't watched a lot of the Dolphins games, but I was like, damn, like you said, they were in Purdy's face the whole time. Like, the whole time they were in his face. And he played really well. Like, I was very impressed. I was like, oh, way to play, man. Way to play. And then we had we got 3 turnovers. That's phenomenal for us in one game. That's awesome. And I was laughing because I don't know if you noticed, like when Shanahan challenged not the first one, but the second one that Shanahan challenged, Mike McDaniel was over there arguing with the refs, saying that his player caught the ball. And I was like, he did not catch the ball, dude.
Yeah.
I'm like, look at the tape. He did not catch it. It literally was like the only thing that was holding it in was Greenlaw. Greenlaw's hand was holding the ball there. Like if Greenlaw would have pulled his hand out, he would have dropped the ball.
JDLR just said Jimmy has a broken foot.
Oh shit. Yep. I knew it had to be something bad, dude.
For them to say foot, there's only a couple things that it could possibly be, you know. Thanks, JDLR. I appreciate the update. So, yeah, I guess that'll mean.
Okay, I have a question. So Jimmy has a broken foot, and I want to know what your thoughts are on, I think it was it Ian Rappaport that came out and said, oh yeah, Jimmy's coming back, and the 49ers or Jimmy or, you know, talking about him coming back. I'm like, shut the hell up. I'm like, the only reason I think that's Jimmy's agent trying to drum up free agency buzz. Yeah. But now I'm sitting here like, okay, Jimmy's hurt again. So do you think we just let him walk this time, or do they try to sign him as a backup again?
They better let him fucking walk. Right. I don't want to see him back on this team. And I think, you know, everybody kind of questioned, oh, well, could we just have Purdy, you know, could we just have Purdy backing up Trey, you know, in the future, or do we need to bring in somebody? I think after seeing, you know, yeah, it's just one performance from Purdy, but I think after seeing what he was able to come in and do, you know, like we should have some faith that, you know, with a whole year in the system, you know, next year that he'll be okay backing up Trey. And if we need him to come in for a game or two, we can have some confidence in doing that. What's up, Melissa?
I think so too. Hi, Izzy. Melissa, Izzy, I'm sorry, whichever one you want me to say. My bad.
I prefer Izzy. It's just nice to be around family right now because today's been a rough day.
Oh no.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, my mom, she works at a hospital, and somebody came in and knew they had COVID and went and worked in her office and got her sick. So now she has COVID, and she's high risk. So I've been like really freaking out all morning.
Oh no.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that stinks, dude. I don't understand people, dude. Like, if you're sick, stay home. It's not that hard. Stay home.
Yeah, well, it's not easy when your governor of your state says it's safe because enough people are inoculated and boosted that you can go out and about your business and you don't have to wear a mask. But still,
no offense, but it's like, I get that I mean, let's be honest, governors, politicians, all of them, they all say a bunch of shit. But the most smart people, we don't listen to them because we all know they're basically full of caca.
Yep. So, Jay Greenlaw got a big pick six, and I am happy, and I got to see it. So,
Jay Greenlaw played lights out.
Oh yeah, dude. Our defense, besides the first play of the game, they locked it down after that. Like, they literally locked it down. Like, it was phenomenal, dude. It was phenomenal.
How else are you feeling about the game, Melissa?
I'm actually really glad that Purdy kind of like shut up everybody who freaked out the second that Jimmy went down. I mean, there was like a rough few passes and stuff, and him and Juwan Jennings were clearly not on the same page on that one play, but I think he did really admirably for not having any kind of starting reps this year, thrown in there last second, kept his cool under pressure, and I mean, those touchdowns that he got were critical because I think if it was just a field goal game, we would have not had any chance to beat the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah. JDLR, thank you. before we say anything else, I know there's only a few of you in here, but as you guys are coming in and out, if you want to drop your numbers, we'll go ahead and do the giveaway for Melissa. Will be happy. She don't need to enter this one for the juice card since he scored the first touchdown.
I hate him. And everyone keeps being like shocked that I hate him.
So those of you who are in here, go ahead and enter your numbers. Yeah, Denise, what else?
Like, dude, I'm telling you, man. And you know what, Izzy? I was one of those people when Jimmy went down. I was feeling all kinds of guilt because I was just talking shit about him when I was watching the Redskins game, and then he went down, and I was like, oh shit. I'm like, damn. I'm like, Denise, this is why you shouldn't talk. Shut up. I'm like, dang, look what you did. I'm like, you done got Jimmy hurt. But then Purdy came in and, hey, I just thought of something. Purdy was pretty.
Hi, Tony.
Hey, Tony.
What's going on?
What's up, Tony?
What's going on?
How you feeling?
Good. I'm good. I had a hectic day today. I just heard Jimmy's done for the year.
Yep. Broken foot.
It's Brock Purdy time. And
it's Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah, and I remember on Nothing But Niners, and I said this once they drafted him, and then you saw him in the preseason, and I said to Mike and everybody over there, I said, let me tell you something. This kid's showing you that the stage isn't too big and the lights aren't too bright. He's not perfect by all means, as you saw today, but I will tell you this. This is the perfect situation for him, and it's the perfect situation for Kyle because this kid can make the throws that Kyle needs him to throw, and Kyle could pretty much control him in this offense. And that's why I think this kid could go through the rest of the season, but playoff football is different, and I really want to see what that's going to be like for him. That's the true test for him. But the way he played today, it wasn't perfect, but he made the throws that needed to be made. He completed the throws that needed to be completed. He went through the reads. He was safe with the ball except for the one play where I think it bounced off somebody. But, oh, no, it was just a great play by the defender. But, like, you saw him. Like, it just didn't seem too big, and he saw what he wanted to do, and he locked it, and he made the throw. So that's what you want. He's confident. I like that. That's what you want in your quarterback, but I don't think it's time to hit the panic button right now for this guy, for being that Jimmy's out. I don't. And I think I'm not saying it's going to be a perfect situation, but I feel that the offense could still continue to do what Kyle wants to do.
Yeah.
What do you guys?
I think Purdy, like I was saying earlier, I was surprised with how well he actually did. And like you said, it wasn't perfect by no means, but to just get thrown in after him only, playing in one game mop-up duty, he's had no starts, no, real playing experience in the NFL. And he looked more comfortable back there than what Tua looked throughout this entire game.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I also
I'm sorry, Izzy, go ahead.
I also like that he didn't lock on any single one person. Like he kind of like spread out the ball. He like really tried to read the field. And even when him and Jawan Jennings weren't on the same page for that one play, he didn't put the ball in danger trying to force something out of nothing. And it just, I know it's wrong to kind of say because he's injured, but I felt more relief when Jimmy went down because then I actually started believing that our offense was going to win. It feels like in those moments that with Jimmy under center, we kind of settle more for field goals and we keep thinking that we'll just keep going to the end zone. We'll get to the end zone. We get to the end zone. And then it feels like we get in these impossible situations where we're playing from behind and we're trying to like make something out of nothing at the end. And it gets away from us. And I think when Purdy came in, you got to see Jordan Mason being used more. Christian McCaffrey was rested a bit more, so it wasn't like just Christian McCaffrey being run into the ground. So I think the offense kind of came to life when Jimmy went down. So maybe it's wrong to say that, but I was really impressed with what the offense did today.
Yeah.
Yeah, they played a complete game. If you think about it, offense, defense, special teams, like when Kyle and everybody talks about complementary football, this is exactly what they're talking about. This is exactly what they mean. This was a complementary football game. All phases played really well. All phases played really well. I mean, they gave up that first touchdown, but after that, they locked it down. Like, it was really, I mean, Tyreek Hill got away from him a couple times, but let's be honest. Like I told Miriah before the show, Tyreek's speed is different speed. Like, he's on a different level from other receivers, in my opinion, as far as his speed goes. But yeah, man, they just played a phenomenal game, and Purdy included. Like, like I said, Purdy played pretty. It was awesome. I was ecstatic.
So, where's John? Get John V on this show. Where is he?
He's supposed to be here. He's playing.
John,
hooky.
stop what you're doing. Get on the damn show, John. We need to discuss this.
He's like the person that calls in to work, and then you see him at Walmart that same day. You know.
Yeah, no, John's at a party, and you go to the house party, and John's there, and he called in sick.
Yeah. How you feeling about the defense, Tony?
The defense, I swear to God, like this defense is like it's really, it amazes me week in and week out, right? The opposing team's first drive, it's like, oh shit, here we go. They figured it out. They're not getting pressure. They studied the film. They saw the openings on the defense, whatever. And then all of a sudden, it just stops everything. Like, it literally, they come out their first drive. They try what they try. They scored on the first play. Literally the first play. Bang, it was done. And then you see the adjustments. And then you see this team just rise. Like, that defensive line, the secondary, the linebackers, the second level, everything, like, they just rose to the occasion and they just played. You're not going to hold that offense to a shutout. I'm sorry. They are way too good, with way too good of an offensive mind as a head coach. But, Bosa with 3 sacks and a strip sack that caused a touchdown by Dre Greenlaw. Then you see Dre Greenlaw in man coverage keeping up with Tyreek Hill on a crosser where Tyreek Hill had at least a step and a half on him, and he still got to him. But they played their game, and they play it well when they're on the same page. Jimmy Ward got an interception. So they played their game, and they're doing it week in and week out, and it's very impressive. And they're like playing at a historic level in what they're giving up. Game in and game out. It's like absurd. It's unheard of what this team does week in and week out. I got a little bet with Mike. Mike doesn't think Bosa could be a 20-sack guy. So I asked him, I said, Mike, well, how many do you think 1 sack a game is too much to say for Bosa? He's like, no. So, he's on pace to have 20 sacks, if not more. But it was just a friendly joke between us. But I mean, it's what you want to see. Like, they get punched in the face, right? And then they bounce back, and then they just lock down after that. So that's huge. And that's another thing why I'm kind of a little bit confident with Purdy. And I'm not saying he's going to put the team on his shoulders and carry him to a Super Bowl. By all means, I'm not. But when you have a defense like this, when you have a run game like we have, who's that?
You called.
John V. You called him out. There's no way he wasn't coming.
God,
I'm like a goddamn genie, brother. You call, I'm here.
Come on, John, you don't think he can get into the playoffs? You don't think he can do something?
I think he'll get to the playoffs, and I don't think he'll survive the playoffs.
You don't?
No.
That's why?
I don't think that he will be able to. I don't think he'll comprehend coverages. I don't think he'll. I think that coordinators will have a field day with him.
We've had a quarterback that couldn't comprehend coverages this entire time.
Yeah, but as much. No, I don't disagree with you in that regard. I don't. But Jimmy's skill set is still better than Purdy's. I still think. Now, look, I could be wrong. Brock Purdy could be a sensation, right? He could be a one season wonder, get us to the postseason, and I don't know, we dial it up. But I mean, right now, as far as I believe it, I don't think that Purdy could survive the postseason.
All right, so you think there'll be a first round knockout?
They could be. I don't think that he could survive Dallas.
Now, let me ask you this. Do you think Jimmy Garoppolo, the way he was playing before the addition of McCaffrey, would be the same type of situation?
I still think that. Look, I think there's no doubt about it. After we acquired McCaffrey, Garoppolo he looked different. He looked way more confident. But I still believe that Greasy made a difference in some of his fundamentals. I think the footwork was different. I think Jimmy's base was solid. I think Jimmy was reading progressions. I think I don't know. I don't know if it was always there. We didn't notice it till after McCaffrey, but I think Brian Greasy has made a difference in Jimmy G. I do believe that.
That I do agree 150%. And I think he actually helped this kid, Purdy, too.
That's my thing. Maybe now if Purdy's front and center, the game plan wasn't for Purdy today. Exactly. This was all makeshift. Just make it up as you go. Just get by. Yeah. I think that if Greasy has to work with this kid front and center now, I think maybe some of those overthrows, he missed Juwan Jennings in stride. He made some mistakes, bro. Everything that was to be expected, though. Nothing I'm holding against him for it.
Absolutely. And the thing what I liked that I saw out of this game was the throw when he first came in. I think it was maybe the second drive where he threw that. Actually, it was the second drive where he drove that ball to the goal line to Debo. And if it was a hair in front of him, that was a touchdown.
Yes.
That's what I like. That's what I saw in this kid in the preseason. Granted, it was preseason, and I told this to Mike. I said, Mike, I'm telling you now, I will roll with this kid as a backup quarterback over Sudfeld, over Jimmy. I want this kid as a backup because the whole contract situation and stuff like that is cost efficient, right?
Yeah.
But in the preseason, I noticed something about him. I said it earlier, the lights weren't too bright and the stage wasn't too big. And the kid, because of his playing experience as a 4-year, I think it was a 4-year starter, or is it a 3-year starter in college. And I just feel because he has all that playing experience as a starting quarterback in the college, I think he translates it to this game. Granted, it's faster. The competition is nowhere near the same. But the game, when he came in today, it didn't look like he was shell-shocked. It didn't
not at all.
Holy shit, I'm turning around the wrong way to hand the ball off, and there's nobody there. This kid just took the bull by the horns, and he ran with it. Now, he does have a limited arm. We all know that. He's not the biggest quarterback. We all know that. It's just the mental aspect and the confidence that this kid has is something that I really like. And when they drafted him, I immediately said, Mike, this kid's your backup quarterback. He's the Colt McCoy of the San Francisco 49ers. And that's
very well could be. Tony, I fear his limitations versus better secondaries.
Yeah.
I think the Commanders could give us I think the Commanders game was going to be a challenging game prior to Jimmy's broken foot.
Yeah.
Now with a rookie quarterback, these coordinators are looking for us to fail. But we did it in 2019 with a limited Jimmy G. I could be wrong. Brock Purdy could very well do it. Just to make a Super Bowl run, I think we're shit out of luck there.
And I don't know if you guys caught on to this because I had to go out to dinner with my father-in-law's birthday today. So I was watching it from the phone, and then when I got home, I went back to the TV. Kyle went for it twice on 4th down with this kid as a quarterback. He's never Never done that.
But what is that, bro? Like that to me is like what if at that point he's just like, whatever, fuck it. If we get it, we get it. If we don't, we don't. I feel like Kyle's confidence in winning this game went out the window with Jimmy's foot.
I don't know, man, but
he was too casual, bro.
I never seen Kyle do that.
Neither did I, and I'm thinking to myself, man, the one time you go for it,
they looked like they had more confidence in Purdy when he came in because they've never gone on fourth down that much.
I was going to say that too.
Was sloppy. This was a very
I
sloppy
absolutely
game
disagree with that. Like Kyle seemed very confident, and I thought Kyle, honestly, this was one of Kyle's more aggressive games as far as I'm concerned. Like this was definitely one of Kyle's more aggressive games.
I mean, yeah, because you got nothing to lose.
Dude,
he had everything
have you guys ever noticed, like, there's one, okay, and everybody, hold on to your shorts because, everyone knows I love Kyle. But what I'm going to say is everyone always says Kyle has a big ego. But you ever notice when Kyle plays like Sean McVay, now Mike McDaniel, like when he plays like people that he's worked with, Kyle's like, yo, mofo, I'm going to show your ass who's boss. And so I disagree with you. Kyle was very aggressive, and I think that's why Kyle was aggressive, because everyone was like, oh, Mike McDaniels is the brains of the operation. Mike McDaniels was the brains. Ever since he left, Kyle sucked, blah, blah, blah. Kyle's like, yeah, I'm going to show you suck. I'm like, yeah, that's right, homeboy. I'm like, don't dog on my coach. Don't dog on my coach. Like, Kyle Shanahan is the Mizan. Let me just wake you guys all up, all right? Thank you very much. Thank you.
But on the flip side of that, I think there's a lot of pressure now on Kyle because of Purdy. Like, he's got to really get creative in his design and use everything around him to make it easier for Purdy. And because this team has a Kittle, has a Ayuk, has a Debo, has a McCaffrey, has a Juszczyk, has a Jennings. Like, that throw he ripped over the middle of the field to Jennings, I was like, holy crap. Like,
that was nice.
Like, that's the things that, like, are selling me on this kid. And for a team to come out so damn aggressive versus this offense, right? They blitzed him, bro. They were sending 5-6 guys on play after play. I was just like, bro, they're trying to rattle this kid, and they just couldn't do it. They could not rattle him. And that's why I was like, you know what? This kid could do it. I'm not saying win the Super Bowl. By all means, I'm not saying that. But I think this could get them to the playoffs and get past round one and get into round two. And in a perfect situation with a perfect storm where everything's working in their favor, you never know. But again, I just feel that this team has so many weapons on offense. It's going to be easier because of Kyle's ability to scheme and design plays and actually get a person wide open. It showed today that this kid could buy into that and find that wide open person and make that tight window throw and keep the ball moving. And that's the key.
Yep.
I don't have the stats in front of me, but it was severely lopsided this week with pass to run, I think.
Yeah.
And I have a question for John and Tony. So I asked Miriah this question, and I'm not sure if Izzy was here or not when I asked this question. Now that Jimmy has broke his foot, do you think that with what Ian Rappaport came out and said on Twitter and all that about Jimmy and the 49ers, wanting him to come back in 2023, do you think at the end of the year they cut their losses, or do you think they bring Jimmy back as a backup?
Oh, shit.
I mean,
you go first.
I say, listen to me. It's got to be for ideally nothing to bring him back as a backup quarterback, in my opinion. If this kid can prove that he can play at this level as a starter with a playoff team, with an all-pro, with an all-history defense potentially, I think this kid solidifies the number 2 spot and they move on from Jimmy. I really do. I'm sorry. If Trey is 100% your guy, like they keep saying he is, I'm sorry. And this team, I'm going to tell you right now, talking to people, listening to people talk, reading articles, this team is very, very high on him, this Purdy kid. And the reason why they took him with that last pick was because they were afraid that they would not be able to sign him as an undrafted free agent. And that's why they took him at that last pick. But again,
Sorry.
That could be also Don Yee using Rappaport as his puppet to try to get the value up for Jimmy.
You know what, Tony? That's exactly what I've been saying on Twitter. I think this is Don Yee trying to boost up Jimmy's free agency value. That's what I think it is. I don't think the 49ers want to keep him because I think if you keep Jimmy after this year, I think that sends a bad message to Trey Lance.
I agree.
Oh, they don't give a fuck about the messages they send to Trey Lance. That they don't give a shit. The message that's being sent. That much I've already. That's what I hold a grudge. I think that they've done that many times now, and I think they don't give a shit the message they send. But my take is, and I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. I'm ecstatic that this defense held up to that speedy offense because McDaniel, like it or don't, is creative. That dude's creative.
Absolutely.
And he was putting together a drive there that was making me extremely nervous. But Kyle called out those calls. We got those overturned. And I think that those little things changed the momentum essentially. But I will say that Brock Purdy is, I don't want to get too high on this kid because I did that in 2017 when Jimmy won the first game and Jimmy won the second game and Jimmy won, 3 more after that. And then we gave him $130 million. So I'm just going to calm myself down a little bit. I'm excited about Purdy. I think we saw flashes. And I think with some grooming, some fast. Now we got to act fast on Purdy, right, Tony? We got to groom this kid. We got to try to polish him quickly. Because this defense, this is a historic defense. And I do not want this season to go down the toilet because, because we have a limited rookie quarterback. So I really think that Brock's got to get polished. I think we need to speed him up to pace. And I think they got to work with him. And I think they've got to get – basically, we're going to see a very similar Jimmy G-esque game managed, right? The dink and dunks, the slants across the middle, the underneath. CMC is going to be a security dump off for Purdy. I don't think we're going to see any deep balls. I don't think we're going to see much unless they can scheme Ayuk open, undeniably open, and let Birdie take a shot. But today, Debo made some amazing catches in traffic. Ayuk made some plays. This was still – our weapons still made big plays. Purdy was confident.
That's the exact point I'm trying to say. You take the combination of what we have as a skill set, the players at the skill set positions for the 49ers, and then you add Kyle Shanahan. And this is what's going to happen. He's going to be able to scheme things open with these guys. And I'm telling you right now, as long as Christian McCaffrey is healthy, I don't care who's playing a quarterback position, this offense could be a threat. Because that matchup on a defense is a nightmare for any defensive coordinator, any linebacker, anyone, anywhere, anytime. He is a threat, play in and play out. And if you look at his stats today, he was targeted 10 times. He caught 8 passes, and I want to say he finished with 80-something yards. 8 catches, 80 yards, averaging 10 yards a catch and a touchdown.
So do we see Lance at all? Who are we bringing in for a backup to Purdy?
We have Eason right now on the practice squad, and
they have Eason. I think they might bring a veteran in though to back him up. I do. I don't think they're going to be comfortable with 2 young, inexperienced guys. I think Eason will be in the competition, but I do think they might bring a guy in with a little bit more experience, God forbid, because I don't think Eason has any starting. He might have had starting experience with the Colts, but
Like
Tony,
starting experience.
not a chance in hell.
Hi, Tony.
yeah, no, I don't.
I don't think so. What about
Not a
Fitzmagic?
snowball's chance in hell, as they say.
I mean, if the Rams didn't call him up with their situation now, with Stafford out for the year, I don't know. There you go,
So
Ty
who do you
Austin.
think-
I vote John V for the backup quarterback position.
Jesus. I would take that with pleasure. And then we'll wake up the next morning and it would all have been a dream, bro.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. I don't know who you bring in as a veteran, bro. Like let's toss some names in the hat.
John, I had to ask you a question. Do you honestly feel more comfortable with the limited veteran who we've seen struggle and turn over the ball, even though like the interceptions have either been called back due to holds or just
God knows
complete the pass
God
more?
knows that's like swallowing glass and fire, but yes. I do. I think that we saw I think that if you told me that Jimmy was out 4 weeks and I saw Purdy put together this game versus Miami, I would be very confident as Purdy is my backup now. I would have definitive proof that Purdy is capable, but I would still rather have finished this season with Jim.
All right. Well, I agree with Tony. I have more faith in Purdy, and I have for.
I mean, I don't fault you guys for it. I think that I would really need to see Brock win another game or two, like with his arm. I want to see him make the plays. I don't know, but I still would be more comfortable with Jim under center, and that's Jim. Whether I like it or I don't, or anybody else for that matter, Jim was playing well. He was playing well. Guy turned over the ball.
I agree. I agree. Like, if you had a choice, obviously you're going to go with Jimmy. But in the situation that we're in right now, I don't think there's a better person right now for this situation.
Yeah,
He's been
great.
He's been with the team all year. You like what you see from him. You saw something in preseason. Now you see it in the game, ice cold off the bench, not even involved in the game plan. And he produced at that level versus a defense who blitzed him down in and down out and still made throws. Right?
Why were they blitzing him so much? I don't understand this.
Listen, I gotta be honest with you, John. If I was a defensive coordinator, I would have done it. I want to see him make a stupid throw and just throw it up there and try to get an easy pick. That's what I think.
Him up.
Huh?
You could mess with him, bro. You could throw different things at him and mess with him, bro. Force him to make errors.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, it seems like from what I saw watching it, like on my phone, and then finally when I got home, it seems like they were overloading the right side of the offensive line. Like the run skill, like the Brendel, Brunskill, McGlinchey gaps, they just kept going. They just kept blitzing and blitzing and blitzing. They would send somebody hard inside on McGlinchey and then loop somebody outside on McGlinchey, and they just kept sending people. And like, my thought process about that is you want to get in this kid's face and try to hit him. And once you hit him, you want to see how he's going to respond, right? Because then he'll become jittery. And then he might just throw the ball so he doesn't get hit. And that's how you create turnovers. But because of the type of player that he was in college, again, it's a different level. He shows that in college, he was that person to stay in the pocket and just sling the ball.
He did, and he's mobile too. I do like that about Purdy. He is mobile. He has some little wheels on him.
Yeah, I mean, the one play he turned right into the sack. It is what it is. Maybe he's got to work on stepping up in the pocket because McGlinchey rode the pass rusher out and around him. He should have stepped up and then made a throw, but he spun right into him. But you see his mind try to spin out of it. He saw the pressure from the front, so he spun, but it didn't work out. But you see him trying to think and try to get that to that point.
That's true. Terradome's right. I think they were attacking the weak side. I think they were doing that. That's a good point. I would too. I would too.
Hey Tony, did you see that play where the guy ran free and there was not a single person on him on the left side early in the game?
Yeah, they've done it like what the 49ers do in this offense is they'll show, right? They'll align a receiver to the left, a receiver to the right, a single back in the backfield, a tight end, but then with a player flexed off the tight end. And what they like to do is they like to show pitch to the strong side, and then that tight end comes, the flex guy or the tight end comes screaming across the formation, and it's supposed to be like a fake toss and roll the pocket to the opposite side. And 9 out of 10 times, well, I notice a lot, the 49ers let that last guy in the line of scrimmage go unblocked. Because what they do is they think that he's just going to crash down and try to go for the run, and then the quarterback will have a free bootleg, and then they dump it off to that crosser. They call it a naked bootleg. I mean, you know, it's action right, naked bootleg left, and it works. But when you have, you know, Kyle Shanahan's top lieutenant that knows that, he's going to tell the defensive ends just scream upfield, and that's how you stop that. And that's why you saw like on 3 or 4, I think it was even 5 plays that they tried to do it. It didn't work. He just threw the ball out of bounds, or he threw it to the feet of the tight end or the receiver coming across the line of scrimmage. And that's what it is. But another play, there was 2 plays that really stood, well, actually 3 plays that really stood out to me with Brock Purdy. The one was on the 4th down where he was in the shotgun. He faked it to the running back, and then he rolled. But then he stopped, and then he let Debo get to the point, like, you know, and then he threw the ball with anticipation. And that's something that Jimmy doesn't do. Jimmy throws to the defender, and that's why he gets like the hospital balls, they call it, or he tries to throw high. So he stopped, he threw it in anticipation, and they converted. Debo was wide open, and he just put the ball right where it needed to be. Debo caught it in stride, picked up the first down. That's number 1. The second throw was a 3rd and, I want to say 10 or 3rd and 9, where he dropped back, play action drop back, and he threw the ball again with anticipation to Jennings over the middle of the field with 2 defenders around Jennings. He put it in a spot where only Jennings could get it, and again, it was anticipation. And then the other throw was the one play at the end zone where Debo ran that crosser, but he just put it a smidge too in behind him instead of throwing with the anticipation. If that was a throw with anticipation, that would have been a touchdown, no questions asked. So there were a lot of positives from Brock Purdy. There is parts of his games where he does have to work on, but now that he's going to be the focal point and the starting quarterback, he's going to get the full reps, and he's going to get the focus by the coaching staff to work with him on his flaws and to try to make him better. So that's, I mean, I'm not saying he's the best thing since sliced bread. I do think Trey Lance is the future of this team. No questions asked. But always remember something. When the Shanahans took a quarterback, they drafted RG3, and then they drafted Kirk Cousins. So keep that in the back of your head.
Hey, David, what's up?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Honestly, I'm good. I mean, you know, Jimmy G being done for the season, I honestly wondered if he would make it through the season when he became the starter, and that answered my question. How much does that hurt our Super Bowl hopes, though? I mean, Brock Purdy didn't look too bad, but, you know, he's going to have his ups and downs moving forward. And honestly, I think that makes, you know, we can bring, from what I read, we can bring 2 players back off of IR. We can bring 8 a season, and we've already brought 6.
Yeah.
So does this make Trey Lance definitely one of those players?
I don't believe so.
I'll answer that. I don't think so, because you don't want to roll out a person with that type of injury, even though he could be technically at a certain point medically cleared, but medically cleared and being football cleared are 2 different clearances. Like, yeah, the injury healed. Yes, everything's intact. Yes, you're cleared from an X-ray and or MRI basis, but getting on the field and then rebuilding your confidence to have confidence in that league. I mean, look how long it took Jimmy to have confidence in his ACL. It took him a while. And that's not a predicament you want to put your young franchise quarterback in. But just real quick, I just found something on Twitter. It was tweeted 22 minutes ago by Danny Gray, the rookie wide receiver that was drafted this year in the draft, that's known to be a deep guy and a speedster. He tweets out, "God, thank you in advance for what's about to come." What the hell is that?
It means that he's no
Jesus.
longer the doghouse because him and Jimmy did not get along well.
Wow.
What does that mean? Like, is Kyle about to freaking start bombing this ball now? Like, I don't
mean,
get
Brock
that.
Purdy, we haven't seen him throw deep. I mean, I honestly think he has a stronger arm than Jimmy G. So this might make Danny Gray relevant.
You saw flashes of it in the Texans game when he was trying to get the ball down the field in that last drive. His timing and his throws were a little off, but he has a decent enough arm. But I think that tweet is mostly because Danny Gray and Jimmy Garoppolo didn't get along together. You can kind of see it whenever they try to like have a play with Danny Gray. So I'm assuming that's mostly he's out of Jimmy's doghouse because Jimmy's not going to be there.
Is that how much pull Jimmy has? I don't like this kid, so don't make him relevant in this offense. Does he have that kind of pull?
I don't know if it's pull. I just think he won't look at him. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, whether you look at him or you don't, Kyle will tell you who to look at or who not to, right? But does Kyle look at it like, listen, young man, you don't go fucking around with veterans. You know what I mean? Like how does Kyle manage that feud between Gray and Garoppolo?
Think about it, John. Like even this year, like before, like 2-3 games ago, right? George Kittle wasn't even getting any balls really. He was getting frozen out. He was wide open. They were mostly using him as a blocker. He legitimately had to go up to Garoppolo and say, like, "Dude, I'm wide open. You have to throw me the ball. I'm wide open." And then George started getting touchdowns and then 2 touchdown games and everything else. But like, there's this weird thing where if someone isn't a Jimmy guy, Jimmy has this weird doghouse the last 2 years where he'll freeze them out and he'll not even look at them if he has the option to ignore them.
Kittle's a Jimmy guy. Kittle is the Jimmy guy. I just feel like when Kittle goes public, he gets Shanahan's attention. Shanahan's like, look, I can't have a pissed off Kittle at the podium. You know what I mean? So he draws up plays for Kittle. I don't think that it's really up to Jimmy who gets the ball and who doesn't. I think it's just we don't need that negative publicity.
Well, and when it comes down to it, I mean, we have Jacob Eason on the practice squad, and I don't even know if he's a serviceable backup. I mean, I was looking at free agent QBs, and in my opinion, Matt Moore could be the most serviceable guy I saw on that list.
There's probably nobody serviceable, David, that you would want in the playoffs that's a free agent. There's probably
or else they wouldn't be sitting on their couch right now.
Yeah, exactly. There's probably no one that's serviceable that we could be like, hey, we got to go out and get that guy. The only person you could maybe say with confidence is if you could draw Fitzpatrick out of retirement.
Let me ask you guys a question. There's a ton of people on Twitter right now saying they would pick up the phone and call Phillip Rivers and tell him whatever it would take to get you to come out.
Oh God, no.
I would be okay with that.
No.
Ugh, no.
He looked like shit the last time he played. He's old.
Yes, thank you. No.
I don't think he had all the weapons. I think he didn't have anybody in Indy. I think honestly, if you gave him this weapon, these guys, I think he could make it work. I mean, he throws the deep ball better than anybody right now on our roster.
That was 2 years ago, and he looked awful. Like he was worse than Matt Ryan and Carson Wentz rolled together that last year in Indianapolis. Like,
yeah,
it was
I agree
awful.
with Izzy 100%.
Hard to watch.
Yep.
Okay, but like whether we, I mean, here it's going to take. If this team is serious about making a run, it's not going to be Jacob Eason and Brock Purdy.
No. They already said they already released statements. They are their personnel division's already making phone calls to bring somebody in. So it's not going to be Eason. Eason will remain on the practice squad. I mean, no, they will bring Eason up, I guess. I don't know what they're going to do. But he's going to still remain on the practice squad, but they will bring another body into
Bro,
that.
they're going to start rattling retirement. They're going to start looking for retirees. I mean,
Tony,
Fitzpatrick's not giving up prime video to be a 49er, right?
No, I don't think so.
Tony, do you think that that guy that we had on the practice squad before Eason, he'll come back?
Eason's there right now.
No, the guy
Blankenship.
before Eason.
That former Packer. What the hell
Blankenship?
was his name?
Yeah.
I mean, they might bring him in to work out as a competition to try to see, you know, they're probably going to bring in like 5 people for a workout this week, if not tomorrow. Like they're probably on the phone scheduling people to come out tomorrow and have a full workout. And they
John
definitely
V, there's your chance, John V. Get on the phone.
I can't do it. I refuse to do it. I absolutely refuse to do it. I'm really curious as to who this team, honestly, if they're serious, they have to be. Why are you saying Phillip Rivers? Is that a possibility?
Oh,
no,
God, no,
these
please.
are what people on Twitter are saying. Phillip Rivers, Cam Newton. I don't want Cam Newton anywhere near the team.
Oh my God. You know what? Sometimes I think people on Twitter have literally lost their brains. Like, let's be honest. Really? Like Phillip Rivers, that's where we're going. I mean, geez, I would take Jimmy over Phillip Rivers. Like Phillip Rivers and then Cam Newton, both of them looked like dog shit the last time they played. Like, come on, people. Let's pull it together. I mean, Jesus, I'd rather have Purdy than either of those two. Like, I'm
Sadly,
sorry.
Cam Newton is probably a name that we will see come into the building. Am I wrong?
I wouldn't, John. I would stay as far away from the.
I wouldn't either. Khalil, I was thinking the same thing. I was just kidding in my mind, but that's true. If you're going to reach out to, if you're going to phone a friend, call Andy Luck.
Mariah, did you draw your Palyusha card yet?
No, not yet.
I mean, honestly, I'll read people off.
Why is he? Do you want it?
No.
I'll read some names that are available right now.
No.
Yeah, I'm curious.
No.
What are those names?
You got guys like Tim Boyle, Mike Glennon, AJ McCarron, Josh Johnson. I guarantee you Josh Johnson is one of the guys that come in for a workout.
I bet so.
AJ McCarron. I bet they work him out.
Josh Rosen, Davis Webb.
Oh, yeah, he was fantastic. Let's bring him in.
Please not Davis Webb.
Guys that I can see
No. Please do not mention X-Giants. Please, on all that is holy, do not mention X-Giants.
Glennon's not bad.
I was talking about Davis Webb.
I wasn't talking about Webb. I was thinking Glennon.
I have an idea. Let's bring that guy over from Christian McCaffrey's old team. What's his name? He used to be a Cleveland Brown. Let's bring him over.
No.
I would rather eat hot shit on a stick. And I mean that convincingly. Baker Mayfield better now. I would never. If I saw Baker Mayfield in red, I'd puke on my shirt.
Yeah, I know. True, I was 1,000% kidding. I cannot stand him. That's why I said it. It was a joke.
So Josh Johnson, I just don't ever want to see him take the field. But Mike Glennon is the only one who I think has decent experience.
I would personally go with McCarron over Glennon.
I would go with either. McCarron's fine. I wouldn't be ashamed to bring in McCarron.
Ty, if it makes you feel any better, a Facebook group I'm in just said Nick Mullins, even though I think he's still a Raider.
He's with the Raiders.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is CJ Beathard on a team?
Jaguars.
Is he still in Jacksonville?
Yeah.
Yep, all
CJ's got it. CJ's got the arm for Gray though.
For those that have just, arrived and are coming in and out and you haven't entered your number for the juice giveaway, scroll up and make sure you can see what numbers have already been entered and get your numbers in.
Because you don't, Izzy's going to beat you to it because she loves him so much.
Yeah,
No,
she
she
already
does not.
DM'd me asking me if I could just send it to her when I send her stuff. So
You know what? I love you both, but today has been really awful. No.
I'll just go ahead and put your name on it right now. Sorry, chat.
Oh my God.
No. Don't you dare.
Juice had a
Don't you dare
TD
do that.
today.
It's okay, Izzy. We're just trying to make you smile and laugh. That's all. We're just trying to make your day better.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, man. I don't know. It's going to be interesting these next couple days to see what moves they make.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be extremely interesting.
And now with the whole bringing Lance back, if that were to even be a possibility, and like David had mentioned, we can only bring back 2 people, and they placed Mitchell on the IR yesterday. So, a lot of
I have a
people were thinking that it was going to be Mitchell and Kinlaw that ends up coming back, but I don't know.
That's a
quick
good
question.
point.
It was reported today that he has more fluid in his knee.
Oh, Jesus.
I honestly don't think he'll ever see an NFL football field again.
Can I ask you guys a quick question? Has anyone heard an update on Hassan Ridgway's injury?
No.
Okay.
Chat, you guys know anything on Ridgeway?
Because when he first went down, it looked like it was his shoulder, but then when he was coming off the field, it looked like he was really limping and favoring his right side. So I don't know if it was an upper body or a lower body.
Sean just made a very valid point, and that's very true. Because if you went back last week, Debo really didn't have that big of a game, minus a couple catches here and there. But it seemed like he had something cooking with Debo, meaning Purdy. So I mean, I don't know, but that's a very good observation.
That's funny he said that because I thought the same thing. Him and Debo seemed like they were on the same page. I noticed that too.
Ty. Jesus Christ.
Oh, man.
Big Ben?
No, please no.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, God, no.
He looked horrible his last season.
Tony, I love you. I'm happy your Bills won on Thursday, but please don't put that bad juju on us. It's bad enough when you guys do that stupid Jimmy Neutron dance and the black and yellow and the banjo playing and all that other nonsense that drives us all crazy.
Who, me?
I love you, but get out of our chat.
No,
Thank
Tony
you.
from John's channel.
Oh.
Tony the Bills fan.
Oh, you just said Tony. I'm like, what?
You think they're looking at anybody's practice squad? You think there's any quarterbacks that they're interested in on practice squads, Tony?
Sure. I mean, I think they're looking at every option right now. There's no holds barred. Obviously, you can't trade.
Of course they are.
Yep.
But the only downside of signing someone off of a practice squad is he has to go to a 53.
Yeah.
That's, I don't know if there's anybody out there that's worth going from the practice squad to right to the 53 and being a backup. And that's why I think, kind of like you see how they signed Janoris Jenkins to the practice squad. I think you might see them sign a veteran to the practice squad. And then if they feel he's good and he's ready, he's a fit, they elevate him to the 53. And they have 3 weeks to elevate him and drop him, elevate him, drop him, elevate him and drop him. Then he's a free agent. Then you have to put him back on the market and then re-sign him. So,
what are the rules? Can somebody retire and come back out of retirement?
As long as they're, from my understanding, as long as their paperwork isn't officially filed and signed off on, because then they would have to rescind their documentation from the league to reinstate them. It's a whole big thing.
It's just a bunch of paperwork, and it takes about 2-3 days to actually go through.
So, someone I don't know. Somebody on a backup could come out, could retire, come out a Niner in 3 or 4 weeks.
Drew Brees.
No, I'm thinking somebody active
Oh.
on a team right now.
Huh.
Drew Brees, that would be fucking amazing. Could you imagine that?
But would it though?
No.
I don't
Think
know.
about
It could be a big dumpster fire floating down the street. I have no idea, but it.
You know what I'm saying? Like the guy struggled to throw the ball downfield his last season as a starter, and you know it's. Listen, this kid's here. He's ready. I think you go out and solidify the best backup in a situation where this kid gets hurt, and you roll with this kid because there's nobody out on the free agent market right now that's going to come in from day one, and you know they have to learn the whole offense. This isn't just an offense where you could plug and play somebody unless it was a previous Shanahan quarterback. Like if they called, honestly,
Dude, if you say Hoyer right now, I will fucking break my phone.
no, I'm telling you, what? I'm going to tell you a name right now.
Oh, fuck.
I'm going to tell you a name right now, and you might be a little shocked, but this person signed the contract with ESPN with an opt-out only if he gets called from an NFL team.
What the hell are you talking about?
RG3.
Oh, my God. Shit.
Just as a backup, not as a starter.
Oh, my
I would
God.
take RG3 before the rest of all those washed up freaking old fucks you guys have mentioned.
Oh, my God. I mean, you said the guy's got to learn the system. RG3 has to learn how to be a fucking quarterback again.
But listen, John, you're asking him to come in and just be the backup, right?
He might just spit on Kyle's head. He might be like, fuck you. You're the reason of my demise.
No, he loves Kyle.
He's gonna Tanya Harding fucking Kyle.
Oh
shit,
my God,
that's
you guys are
hilarious.
killing me.
No,
RG3,
but listen,
bro.
I'm just telling you, if you go and watch RG3's tweets and when he talks about the Niners, his face like lights up. And
Yep.
Well, so does
That
Richard
is true.
Sherman's, but Jesus.
Richard Sherman's not a quarterback.
I know, but Jesus,
Oh my God.
I mean, RG3 as a backup. I mean,
Because think about this: what does a backup do? He helps the starter, right? He's
Yes.
support for the starter. And I
Yeah.
mean, in the situation like this, obviously Jimmy got hurt, and now we're talking about Brock Purdy, and you know, it is what it is. But who else is out there that could be better than RG3? Like who else is better? Like there's nobody. The only person that I could say that would be a legit tie or a close tie would be McCarron, because McCarron, out of all those guys on that list, minus the retired guys like the Roethlisbergers and the Phillip Rivers, he's the one with the most playing. He's the one with the most playing experience.
Glennon had a ton of experience
Not
as a
more than
backup.
McCarron was a
Maybe.
starter for the Bengals before they made that change at the quarterback.
Yeah, but isn't McLaren like 30?
I think he's like 31 or 30. I think so.
Hey Tony, wasn't Glennon the guy that the Giants choked away the last of their season with last year? So that way they get better draft
I'm
picks.
not a fan of Glennon, so that's why I'm not even.
I just remember Glennon keeping Chicago in a few games, and I thought that he could sling the ball. But I mean, at this point, we're just throwing fucking shit at the wall.
And hoping it sticks.
Yes.
It's going to be nobody that's going to come in and start. I'm telling you, I cannot see them bring Cam Newton in. I don't think it's that tight. I don't think that's the guy. I don't think Phillip Rivers is the guy. I don't think any of the retirees are.
See, I think Cam Newton is a name you'll see come into the building.
I hope not.
Tony, you and I, same page. No, thank you.
Tony,
Unless
did you
Trey Lance can plant his foot, you guys, that boy has to be able to plant and cut. And I don't think that the ligaments in his ankle are prepared for any of that yet.
Never mind that, John. It's a mental thing he's got to get over. He's got to be
Could be
comfortable in his head that he can plant off and push off that back leg to fire a throw. Because I'm telling you, look at Jimmy with the ACL. How long did it take Jimmy to have build confidence? Remember we used to throw the ball and then jump his lift his front leg up?
Yeah.
He was afraid he was going to get hit.
Yep.
Just because he's healed medically does not mean he's healed to be that football player again. You know
yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. I get it. I do. I get it.
Okay, well, this is Miriah's show, so I'm just going to shut up so she can talk now.
You're good. Somebody has to talk. I'm talking to the chat, so.
I was gonna ask Tony, do you remember a couple of weeks ago when Fred Warner was talking about how pretty Purdy was looking in practice and how much he was impressing the defense?
Mm-hmm.
I actually really think that this defense and this offense both kind of like awoke when Purdy came in, and I think they really believe in him. So I really think that we're not looking for a starter to just come in front of Purdy. I think we're just looking for someone who can stay
And
healthy for 2 months.
I
agree with that.
That's basically what I'm saying. And I'm telling you guys right now, the only reason why Jimmy's back is because the deal he came back at. It had nothing to do with confidence in Brock Purdy. They had an opportunity to bring what tells you this is Brock Purdy was not cut at the final cutdowns. He made the 49ers final 53. And if Jimmy didn't come back at that number that they wanted, listen, I have no problem with bringing back Jimmy at that number because that number was a fair number because it was based off of incentives. So now keep this in the back of your head. They're going to be saving They're going to be saving money every game because he's not going to be active and starting. I don't know if there's an injury guarantee, but there's no
if I remember correctly, Tony, sorry to cut you off, but if I remember correctly, he has no injury guarantee. That was part of his deal. He doesn't have any injury guarantee.
So the Niners are going to be getting more money rolled over next year because he's not playing the final 5 games, 6 games I think there's left. So they're saving potentially $6 million in money, right? And now this team was very, very high on this kid. I'm telling you. I read it in places. I listened to people talk on podcasts. They believed in this kid and they were very high on him. And that's why they were willing to go with this kid as the backup quarterback. That's why they moved on from Sudfeld. They cut Sudfeld with a fully $2 million guaranteed salary to keep this kid. So it tells you something on how they feel. And I'm just going to say this. I think this game next week is a huge test for Brock Purdy because he's facing one of the top defensive coordinators in the league in Todd Bowles. You want to talk about aggression and scheme design and disguising blitzes and coverages. Todd Bowles is that guy. Now let's see how he comes and fares versus this type of defense. And if he passes this test, well, get on the wagon, man, because they're gonna make their run with this kid, and we're gonna see where it takes us.
That's a fair assessment. That's true, dude. And I think they'll disguise coverages, and I do think they're going to try to choke up Purdy. I think they're going to try to force him to make errors. They're going to do a combination of man and zone, both, at the same fucking time. And they're just going to if we can beat Tampa with Brock Purdy, oh fuck. I mean, I'll buy a jersey. I'll be all in.
He said he's gonna buy a jersey. It's not gonna be it's not gonna be on his shoulders. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
No, I get that. But he's still got to do his part, Tony. I mean, he's still got to do his part. He's still got to man the offense.
Correct.
We can't screen a dozen times.
Correct, but it's not like a situation where if he was the backup in New York, it's going to be on his shoulders. Or if he was the backup in Dallas, it's going to be on his shoulders. It's not going to be on his shoulders. All he has to do is go in and execute the game plan, and that's that.
Yeah.
It's not going to be, all right, let's go, buddy. Brock, put your big boy pants on. It's on you. No, it's not going to be that. And that's why I'm a little bit more confident in him because he's going to be protected by Kyle.
Well,
Hey, that brings up another subject. So, you know, how Kyle was treating Trey Lance. I honestly think it's because he had Jimmy G on the bench. But now Kyle's down to his third string quarterback and, you know, Jacob Eason. So does he protect Purdy knowing that he is our best chance right now?
Well, I don't think Purdy's the type of running back, quarterback. I don't think he's on the same level of a Trey Lance where he's going to call up QB design runs or stuff like that at all. I think he's going to be the pocket passer compared to the Jimmy Garoppolo, or if you want to talk to take it back to the draft where they drafted him, like the Mac Jones type of quarterback where it's in the pocket first and then you try to scramble and pick up if the throw isn't there. That's what Brock Purdy is, and that's what Brock Purdy was in college, and that's what the 49ers view him as. And because of what he showed in preseason and what he showed today, how he just came right on that field, took the bull by the horns, and just ran with it and drove this offense down the field and make tight window throws. And the stage wasn't too big. The lights weren't too bright. I think Kyle saw that and says, okay, I could do this. I can work with this. And now that he's the focal point and he is the starting quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers going forward, they're going to work with him in practice. He's going to get all the reps. He's going to get all the position drills and all that stuff. And then when they go 7-on-7, it's Brock Purdy's team now. That's it. This offense is Brock Purdy, not Jimmy Garoppolo, not the backup, and he gets the last 5 reps of practice. This is his team. And now they're going to get him ready to run with it.
Congrats, Tony, with an eye.
Congrats, Tony.
With an eye.
Sean asks you, Tony, with a Y. Did you notice that Bosa broke out with Eric back?
Absolutely, because now they can't double Bosa with a guard and tackle combination on an inside stunt. You got Armstead. And again, listen, this team is starting to get its groove back. They're getting the players back. They're finally starting to get somewhat healthy at positions that were depleted, the defensive line. And, you know, they're going to get ready to make that push. And I'm going to be paying attention to see if there's any reports on Armstead. Is he sore? Is there an issue with his injury? Or if he's full go all next week with practice with no limitation. That's another thing you got to watch for. But when these guys up front are clicking on all cylinders and they're getting in the backfield, and now the depth guys, meaning Ridgeway and Givens, are back to the depth role, like being the backups and getting those situational snaps, now you're going to see that defensive line start to take off again. And Drake Jackson, again, huge play. He batted the ball down. He was being friggin' held, or his face mask was being lifted up, and he just jumped up and just blocked the ball. This defensive line is starting to click again as a unit. So it's very encouraging. They're getting hot at the same time, at the right time. And, Armstead back is going to help Bosa 100%.
Yeah.
No, Ty. No.
We're trying to get Melissa this juice card.
I do not want that.
So she keeps asking for it.
Yeah. We know deep down inside you really love him. Just stop lying to all of us. It's okay. We will love you anyways. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
We know how you feel.
I will take whatever little money I ever have for the rest of my life, and I'd rather wear a Jimmy Garoppolo jersey for the rest of my life than ever own anything with Kyle Juszczyk.
Wow.
That is how much I dislike Kyle Juszczyk.
Wow.
But why do you dislike him? He made 2 huge blocks in the run game today.
Yeah, he did. I'm like, see, I like Kyle, but
it's the money, dude. It's really not even the person. She doesn't like the money.
Okay, it's not that. Okay, it's everything. It's the fact that my brother for 2 straight years wrote me about Kyle Juszczyk being the reason why the freaking Green Bay Packers won. It's the fact that Josh Hockett was run out of here because of Kyle Juszczyk. It's the whole Kyle Juszczyk is this weird amalgamation over the last 3 years where he has to do the short yardage or the quarterback sneaks or he's using the red zone where he can't get a damn yard or even 4 inches. It's everything. And it's this entire fan base that always comes at me and he's like, he's the best fullback in the entire league. Well, you can't even name 2 other fullbacks in the league. I dare anyone who doesn't actually watch like real NFL that doesn't look at every single roster to see who the hell else plays fullback in this league. Like, it's crazy to me. And it just, do you know how
Baltimore has a
insufferable-
fullback. I don't know his name, but Baltimore has a
Do you know how
fullback.
insufferable it is when you have a toxic sibling hanging over your head that you've lost 2 years in a row, especially on Sunday Night Football, because of a Kyle Juszczyk? Like, these are things that you never forget. And it's obnoxious. And I will always have deep hatred in my heart for this player.
I'm really sorry, but you totally lost me with the whole you'd take Jimmy over Kyle stance. Like, I just, wow.
I said I would rather wear his gear because at least at one point, Jimmy Garoppolo brought hope. And I dare any Niner fan to say that at one point he didn't bring us hope because before that we had Brian Hoyer and we went 0-9 to start the Shanahan experience. So, yes.
So are you trying to tell me that Jimmy Garoppolo is the great white hope?
No!
Hey, Miriah, I think it's time to bring on our special guest from Santa Clara. You ready to bring him on?
Oh,
Joke.
man.
Oh, shit.
Okay, I gotta ask you guys, whose interception whose interception today impressed you the most? Fred Warner, Jimmy Ward, or Dre Greenlaw?
Oh, Jimmy Wars.
Yeah, Jimmy, I was going to say that too. Did you see how hard Jimmy hit the ground? Woo! Yeah, I agree. Jimmy Ward, hands down.
I was going to say Greenlaw in the pick 6, but that's just me. I'm a huge Dre Greenlaw fan.
They were all phenomenal, but yeah, Ward's he took it. He took a huge tumble. He took a huge hit.
Well, wasn't Dre Greenlaw's a fumble recovery?
No, it was a pick.
Was it?
Yeah.
I thought that was the play where Bosa strip sacked him and he picked it up and ran with it.
Yeah, it was a fumble recovery. Well, that's what I thought it was.
I could be wrong.
I could be wrong too, though, so don't quote me.
My feet kept breaking up. I saw him with the ball. I thought it was tipped to him, and he ran it back. But yeah, him, Warner, and Jimmy Ward had big plays in the defense with those turnovers.
Yeah, the turnovers were phenomenal tonight. They were phenomenal.
Hey, last year our defense was playing good, but they weren't getting turnovers. This year, our defense is one of the best in the NFL, and they're getting turnovers on top of that.
Yeah.
So it's a big improvement. And I mean, you know, who do you credit this improvement to? The new safeties, the corner, the entire defense, because when it comes to what's changed, Mooney Ward, Hufanga Gibson, and then the defensive line rotation changes every year. We always sign guys that have potential to 1-year prove it deals. That's just what we do, to fill in the depth roles. But I mean, yeah, who do you give the credit to here about the improvement getting those turnovers?
Well,
I mean, have to. Good.
I think things changed when our linebacker coach came back from his cancer recovery because they needed the mandate, I think, around preseason week 2, where they started to tally up all the turnovers, tip passes, interceptions, fumble recoveries, peanut punches, and you could kind of see from that point on where they made emphasis on turning the ball over, and it's either been there or it's kind of gone away, and then it's come back in mega force in other games, and it's just, I think that's one of the things that they've tried to been consistently doing, because you could even see it in this game when Gibson tried to get the interception and he couldn't get his hands on it. You could see it on the other play, Greenlaw, early in the game where he jumped up and got his fingers on it and tried to go for the ball. You can see it with Jake Jackson when he has his hands up and he's trying to tip it to somebody. It's just like, I think it's a real emphasis on the defense as a whole to help out by getting the ball back.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Ryan, whose jersey are you wearing?
Bosa. I had Ayuk's ready, but then I changed to Bosa at the last minute before the game started, and I'm like, okay, I'll stick with this.
Hey, just real quick to answer that question, I gotta jump off. The whole situation with the improved play, I think number one, you have to go to the front office to the ability to identify players that skill set, that transition to this defense and the fit. That's number one. Number two, I think by strengthening the depth of the defensive line makes the whole defense better, because how it works with defenses is if your front line is getting there and doing their job, it helps everybody else in the defense, right? It helps the corners out and all that stuff. So what the 49ers did is they drafted a guy who's very a highly instinctive player that was always around the ball and makes plays, but he was one of the slowest guys in the draft at the position. Talanoa Hufanga. So my point to this is, if you don't have speed in other areas and you don't have a dominant defensive line, that puts a person in that type of person with a flaw with his speed, but his instincts disguise his flaw with his speed. If the defensive line isn't doing their thing, that puts more pressure on him, and it could potentially expose him. And I said right off the bat, I think Josh McDaniels goes right at him and puts him in a position where he needs to make a split decision. And that exact thing happened on that deep, like that quick strike touchdown to Tyreek Hill. Because the play before that, leading up to it, Tyreek Hill ran a 12-yard hitch, stopped, caught the ball down. The next play, you saw Talanoa Hufanga jump on the underneath crossing route, and Tyreek Hill went flying right behind him. So that's where he has to kind of improve a little bit, and not, because of his deficiency with his speed, his IQ will carry him, and it will carry him to a certain point, but he's got to be more disciplined on the back end. Dre Greenlaw is probably one of the most underrated players on the defense to catch Tyreek Hill on a crosser where he had a step and a half on him and catch him before he could break upfield and tackle him for a minimal gain. That was very impressive for a 220-pound linebacker. So to sum it up, I think it's all the coaching in the front office, identifying the talent that fits the scheme, and the defensive coordinator using the talent for his scheme to get the best out of him. And it's all, like I said, the perfect storm, and it all comes together, and that's what you say.
Thank you, Tony. And thank you for earlier what you said on Twitter.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, but I got to jump off now because I got to go to work tomorrow and I'm tired.
All right, Tony.
Later, bro.
Me on.
Bye, Tony.
See you later, John. Thanks for jumping on, buddy.
Hey, listen, you pull out that little what's that thing called? A bottle? Yeah. A lantern? What the hell they call it? A genie in a bottle? What is it?
Genie in a bottle, yeah.
All right. Yo, you just rub that motherfucker a couple times, bro, and I'll be there.
Have a good night, guys.
Good night.
Thanks, Tony. You too.
I'll pause on that. I totally pause on that, right? Just Just hit me up, bro. I'm there. Later.
All right, buddy. Later.
But yeah, I mean, if anybody doesn't have anything else, we've already been here almost an hour and a half, so.
What a
we can
great
get
show,
out of here.
though.
Mariah, what are your thoughts about the game? You've been like uber quiet.
Well, because I have to do a whole show on it, you know, in a couple days, so.
That's kind of smart, though. You know what? Do you do that on purpose? Is that by design?
That is by design, yeah.
Good for you, man. You think these through. See, you're so smart.
That's right, man. Mariah's the shiznick.
She thinks it through. She's a step ahead.
Exactly.
Me, I repeat it like a recording. I'll do it Tuesday, Monday.
Mariah, did you have a nice birthday yesterday, at least?
I did. Thank you, everybody. I saw everybody's birthday wishes on Twitter, on here, so I appreciate it. I had a good time, spent the day with my family. Then we went out to dinner last night. Gambled a little bit, and I won back all the money for dinner, all the money we gambled. So
Nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah,
That's phenomenal.
it was a good night.
Good for you.
But yeah, and then before we get out of here, it looks like Tanya and Bryant both tied for the score prediction. So I'll get you guys together some little goodies for your win. So congrats to you both.
Congrats.
And then I think, you know, if you guys want to have any closing thoughts, or we can just go ahead and get out of here.
My only closing thought is
How much
please
did you
pray
save at
that.
the self-checkout? I'm just curious.
Oh, me?
I knew you were shopping. You were shopping. I knew you were shopping.
Yeah. You know what? I don't even pay attention, dude. I came because I told Miriah I had to come to Wally because I was out of some stuff. So I was like, at first I was sitting in my car, and then I was like, man, I need to get out and get this shit done so I can go home. So yeah, I just, yeah.
Good for you, multitasker.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, closing thoughts. Denise is at Walmart. She's on her way home. And then, hopefully Brock Purdy can step up and keep us in games. And hopefully Kyle Shanahan can scheme everything open. And, yeah. Who do we play next? That's a question. Who's our next opponent?
Buccaneers.
The Buccaneers.
Oh, okay. Oh, God, it's Tom Brady. Whew. Yeah, can't wait. Yeah. You know how you feel about Kyle Juszczyk? That's how I feel about Tom effing Brady. I hate that mofo. When he retires, I am literally going to throw an FU Tom Brady party. Woo, woo.
Yes,
Sure
I
am.
remember.
He already watered down he diluted his retirement.
Yeah.
No one will ever take it as serious first.
She actually means that. She has
I know.
deep hatred for the TB12.
Yeah. Ugh.
My closing thoughts tonight, real quick, because I'm going to roll here, fam.
Yeah, me
Mine
too.
are Brock Purdy, stay upright and healthy, because you're all we got right now.
Yeah, amen.
That's my biggest concern. And if Tony's right, if we succeed in beating the Buccaneers, even if it's I don't even know what the run game is going to look like, because we're not using Mason the way I thought we were going to use Mason. We just Kyle just dangles him in front of us. He gets 7 yards, 19 yards, and then we don't see him anymore. And I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing? You run him or you don't. I don't understand. And none of this makes sense to me, and it's upsetting me because I get really hyped up and I see him break a run and he does so good. He looks so good. And then McCaffrey gets stuffed because he's not that guy in that situation. So I don't know. Final thoughts. Brock Purdy, stay healthy. Hats off to you, my man. Congratulations. 2 TDs in one of the most anticipated games on the schedule. We shut down a very speedy offense. Our defense is that. They are them. They're fucking amazing. They're badass. This team broke our streak, our second half streak, but I'm okay with that because those are distractions. Those are distractions. You know what I mean? Now you fucking you did it. Good for you.
That's how mistakes happen when you try to live up to a streak. That's when
I
mistakes
agree.
happen. So it's better that it's broken.
I'm okay with that. Better it be a good opponent than some bust out. Like I'd hate for it to have been like the Texans or something. You know what I mean? So it was a worthy opponent. Today was tough. I love you guys. Miriah, I wish you again the happiest and healthiest of birthdays. You know, proud of you. You've kicked ass this year. You're doing great things, and I am forever grateful to be a part of it. So thank you, and be nice because I like it. And
and
that's
thank you
it,
for
guys.
getting John hooked on Funko Pops.
Yes. Oh God. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's a conversation for another day. We had to buy furniture for these damn things. Like we had to move the living room around. Like Allison was like, I just don't understand. One day you never owned one. And then you hang out with your 49er friends and we have an entire living room full.
You should see him in the locker room where he pulls up like one after the other after the other after the other.
It's
and
insane.
Nick just makes fun of it the whole time. I say they all look alike, and he's like, "No, they don't look alike." And then it just goes on.
Tony's like, "Quit collecting dolls, damn it! You're a grown man." Yeah, I have a Marvel section. I have basketball. I have football. I have legends. Like I'm addicted. You done fucked up, and I love you for it. So I'm happy.
Did the UK
All right,
faithful
y'all.
ever help you
Thank
get that NBA player that you were trying to get? Steph
Oh yeah,
Curry?
it was Steph Curry. I did get Steph. I got Steph. Jaw got lost in the mail, and I got another. And now there's like new ones. There's like they got Slam Magazine and like, oh, it's we're on another level here, family. My Target basket is overflowing with Funkos. Yo,
Mine too.
it's been a pleasure, family. I love you guys.
Love you, John
Family
B.
in the
Thanks.
chat. Keep rocking out with Miriah and TL. You guys are awesome. Help this channel grow. Like and subscribe because, like it or don't, nobody could do it without you. Later, family. Peace.
Later.
David.
Thank you.
Later, David. Later, Izzy.
Here, John B.
All right. Anybody else?
Mine's very simple. Go 49ers.
All right. Short and sweet. Just how I like it. Melissa?
My final thoughts are, even if y'all kept mentioning he shall who not be named, I didn't think I was really gonna laugh like this today, and for that I want to thank you all because, like I said earlier, today's been really rough, and it's been a lot of tears and crying and stress, and for a little while I got to be with family and unwind from my other family trauma. So thank you.
Yep, of course. I hope.
Just signed Josh Johnson, huh?
Yeah. 49ers just signed Josh Johnson per Adam Schefter. Thank you, JDLR. Melissa, your mom, your family will be in my thoughts and prayers. I hope, that she gets out of it the best possible way she can and that she don't get the rest of you sick in the process.
Exactly.
I have to stay far away from her because I'm type 1 and I'm even more high risk than her, and she has 3 different conditions right now, so it's scary. I just want to say also real quick that it's nice to see Crystal back in chats. We've missed you and we've been praying for you, and we've been keeping you close to our hearts and with you while you go through what you've been going through. So it's nice to see you again.
Yep, I agree. Welcome back.
I agree
Peachy.
too.
We love
Welcome
you.
back, Peachy.
Chat, I appreciate you all. Thank you for everything you guys do. And, like everybody said, we couldn't do this without you guys. You guys make this channel. And I truly, truly, truly appreciate each and every single one of you guys. Everybody that comes on this show that contributes in any way to this channel, you guys mean the world to me. So don't ever forget that. But yeah, we'll see you. I'm not sure, TL. And thank you guys for filling in for TL. He's on the road moving his mom out of state. So Safe travels to him. I hope you get home safe, brother. And once I'm able to talk to him, we'll figure out what day we're doing our show this week. So I'll see you guys all sometime this week. Everybody have a safe, healthy week, and we'll talk to you soon.